Hey, morning guys. Just doing a follow-up on this Zcash from Saturday. As you can see, Zcash has gone up the most out of everything else. The other one we were looking for that showed us clues, big clues, was hang on, here, XMR. So that's the next one that's actually moved up. Look, here's the clues. XMR's gone up. So you can see here, in terms of time, we know that um, they were buying it on the 8-day time frame. Well, on that day, we were here. Sorry, we'll go back 3 days on Saturday when we saw this here. 1, 2, 3, right. So we'd be expecting over the next 8 days this to start slowly going higher. So we're expecting, because that's showing you in time. So then that time will have to be applied down here. So it's not going to be a huge move because it's only 13. And this one now, look, it's 82 ZEC. Let's draw this on. Hang on. Let's try and do it this way before we start drawing. Then at least we can put a pen mark somewhere if we need to. Hang on. 1 second. Is this going to work? Yeah. All right. So we can see here they're now 82, so it's strengthening 8 days. So we can expect further move up for 8 more days. However, over here we're seeing 6-day heavy duty selling, which is going to slow this down. We're still seeing strong dollar here. What we need to see is huge red, more red to fuel this thing higher. So we can now expect for 6 hours crypto to begin to go sideways overall to down. However, this here 100, look, you don't have enough buyers to outweigh the 6 hours of buying there, right? This is under 100, whereas this is 100. So this is going to pause. So we want to take some profit here, and then we'll get in again later. Look, also you got this, so we're going to expect 6 hours of selling slash sideways. 1, 2, got a little bit down here, which will slow this thing down. This here, okay. And then the fact that dollar's still bullish, it's not ready yet, it needs to show us more evidence, then we could be expecting some sort of high here of the day, I think. But we can see what the purpose of this video was to demonstrate. Once we saw that positive change when everything else was completely red, if you refer back to the Saturday video, then all of a sudden we saw these 8-day 20 plus 22s in green here, and that changed everything and sent Zcash up. But there was still an existing down move to go. So we got on Saturday, we were entering here, and then it came to here. So we got the last one here, this one. Like I said in the comments, we'll keep buying this and treat this as a buying opportunity every low. And then that's it. So we're expecting down and sideways until we do what I said there. Hang on, let me try and do something else here. Now let's go take a look. Let's take a bit of profit while we're here. We'll take the higher level longs off that we got into early on Saturday. Got to be more patient, basically, and really wait for this. The whole thing is a story, really, and we don't have permission to trade really until we see a story in order to get a perspective into a realm. So how do we do that? Let's try and show something, another example. Hang on a minute. We'll move over here to a different profile. Oops. Okay. See if this thing loads up. Just bear with me a second. We're just waiting for this new profile to load up. Won't take long. Hang on. Let's just let this profile load up. Here we go. Something's happening. Here we go. All right. What do we see now? Last night. Now we're working still on this this Aussie pound New Zealand, obviously, from last week. We're seeing the numbers here are continuing to increase. So there's more sellers in pound, and then here we have too many buyers. In New Zealand, we're seeing the same thing down here. Okay, too many sellers, so this is going to have to be turning. So this will end up being our trade. So what we're going to do is show you something here. Hang on. Yeah. So what happened? We didn't want to hold in here because we figured out let's just be patient. So we took the first shot at this monthly up here, or here, sorry. And then I just couldn't hold it any longer. I'm like, I'm not doing this. No, we'll wait because there's no sense in, they can go a long way on the month. But what's going to happen is they're not going to allow these retail people who have been short from here to profit. So they're all happy now thinking we're going to continue falling, but no, they're going to have their money taken and they're going to come back here. But we just got to enter better here. How are we going to do that? Well, let's take a little look. So we know the numbers here are agreeing, too many sellers. We're not going to be pussies. We exited our pound New Zealand, so we're not going to give up on it. We're going to do it. We're going to save it for later. Now what we're looking at here is New Zealand down here is red, and here is green in pound. Last night I saw heavy duty buyers on the 1 minute to 12 hours out of nowhere after the pound being so weak. If everyone's been following this market for the last couple of weeks, you see pound's been getting destroyed. So where's the bottom? Well, let's find out, because that's how we do things. We don't like to, you see here, I was working on this yesterday and it reminded me, where is it? Sorry. I'm gonna flip-flop all over the place, but I want to show you something here. I was working on this. This is pretty good, this. But it's telling you what to do. And which means you're reacting. Again, you're reacting. But I don't believe the true professionals are reacting to this. I believe they know exactly when, where, and how a particular pair is going to move before the fact. a long time before the fact, and they're simply buying at discount until they're ready, until they know the day of when this thing's going to explode. Um, and But by doing it this way, we're reacting. Here's a signal. Look, buy USD Swiss. It's probably going to work. But why? Why? I don't know why it's telling me this. Even if I do all the studies on this dashboard and trust it, um, there's always that one time that it doesn't work, and then you give all the profit back, and that's because you didn't know why this said up. Even if you understand how this thing works, because it works on mechanics, it doesn't work on dynamics, and the market is dynamic. It's not mechanical. It's people think it's mechanical, but that's why the support and resistance never works long term, and indicators never work long term, because it's dynamic. It will break through, and those indicators are based on fixed, whereas we already established that time is not fixed. Time is dynamic. 29 days in February every 4 years. I mean, what's that all about? Um, some days the afternoon goes faster than the morning, and other days it's the opposite. And you're like, what the hell? How is it already noon? And then the next day you're like, oh my God, it's only 10. And that's because time is dynamic. But by following this is meaning you're fixed to the mechanical idea of time, um, which is not true. It's dynamic. Um, so what are we going to do? We're going to be open-minded to the fact that the emotions of the people are dynamic. So from here we see today pound, plus taking into account the heavy duty buyers from last night, out of nowhere we see Aussie's weak here, which is going to, and we already know that New Zealand is correlated with Aussie, is also showing some weakness. So it's likely to be going down. These are the emotions of the people, down. So pound up. What's euro doing? Down. What's euro pound doing? Euro pound, there's a bit of green. So let's hang on. Let's put the pen up here so we can draw this. Let's try this now. You guys can't see all of this. Hang on. Let's 1 second. Let me just move this down. You guys can't see the names of the currencies. Sorry. All right, let's see if this works. Now we can draw on this thing. All right. That's better. What do we got? So pound, green, out of nowhere. We saw this yesterday. Okay. So today pound has been bullish. At this time, the rest were not showing anything like this. So now we're synced in, we believe, with the pound, accepting the fact that there may be a further drop until it evens out, and finally, because they're buying at discount, retail people are getting trapped here. So we saw this yesterday somewhere around here. But this ended up being real, because it was the only one showing those buyers at that time. What do we got here? So yeah, we want to be going down and up. Pound Aussie up. New Zealand, and this even on the 1 minute chart. Look, 1 minute and 1 minute. This is going to mean that pound New Zealand right now is going up. How do we we'll bring that into the picture. Let's do that. Hang on. Let's come back. Hang on a minute. Oh, no. So look, we'll go on the 1 minute chart here. Look, it's been going up. We bought it down here because we figured out the time. We got in sync with it. Let's see how we did that. We'll move to 5 minute. We have to do it on that. Well, it doesn't matter. We can do it here on this time frame here. But I want to show you exactly how I got into this. It's probably a better idea. Because it was very simple. There we go. Very simple. Let's draw this now, and then we can draw on this thing. All right. We knew around, this was here. It was in this time. We blocked out a section of time, 1 minute and 5 minute. Maybe we could do it on trying to think how we could do this here. So here, this was 5 minutes of green. So what I did, I confirmed that pound New Zealand was in sync with what I was seeing here in pound and New Zealand. I wanted to see this. So I took a section of time, 1 minute, 5 candles, I counted back, and at this time pound was showing 100, 5 minutes, and New Zealand was showing 100, 5 minutes. So I went here into this 1 minute box and I checked if it was going up, and it was. So this was reflecting this in time. So I was happy. Then I did another box here, 5 minutes, and this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 minutes. And then I went to 15 minutes, and at that time I believe it was 100. But we got to check here. Obviously, we look at this on the individual index, because we're looking for highest numbers in the individual index. Because if we're looking at the whole entire index itself versus the other currencies, all we need to know is the clues that inside, like we were doing with crypto. But with Forex, you don't need to do that. You just need the highest number at that time. Will give you the same vision or perspective, just in a different way than how we did this weekend ZCASH trade. It's the same thing at the end of the day. It's just a fractal of a fractal. That's all this is, a fractal of a fractal. We are in a movie. None of this is real. It's just fractals on top of fractals. So what have we got here? 15 minutes. We confirmed here it was 15 minutes. And this, I believe, was minus 100. Or close. Maybe not even. They weren't perfect. Okay, you don't need them to be perfect. You just got to see an obvious change. And then, are we seeing that here? Yes, it was going up. Look, here's the 15-minute box, here to here, up. So now we have the same thing all over again. And we're seeing this. This is, I guess, well, maybe 40 candles, maybe more. I don't know, maybe 60. Well, that's going to be an hour. So are we in sync? Let's find out. 1 hour, hundreds. 1 hour, minus 31. Yes, we're in sync. We can continue to hold this with in mind the monthly numbers. that we already spoke about, the buyers versus sellers. We'll look at these here, these numbers, as an actual indicator of the market makers, but then we'll look at the other numbers as a indicator of the retail people. That's how we're going to put this all together, and we'll stick to that one strategy. That way we're going to know before the fact what's going to happen when, and when it's going to turn around, and when to exit. While we're in, I believe we always want to be looking for a new trade to prepare us for a new setup. Otherwise we won't know what to do when we're in. We'll just give all our money back. Which is what we don't want to do. We always want to be working on a new setup. So now we know that pound is working. On the next video, we'll find a brand new one. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Be happy, peace, and love as always.